Hi guys, I'm Na, and this is a beginner's tutorial series designed to show you how to use the major features in Blender. So if you're new to Blender, Blender is one of the major 3D modeling software. You probably heard about tools like Cinema 4D and Maya. And Blender is just another popular 3D program. It's free, it's open source, and it's pretty powerful. Throughout this series, we're going to learn how to make your own character, rigging, create animations, and eventually bring it into Unreal. But in this video specifically, I will go over the user interface and just a few features to help you get started. Okay, so if you haven't downloaded Blender, let's come to Blender's homepage first. So this is Blender, and come to download. The latest version is 2.81.2. Feel free to use that if you want, but I would recommend something with long-term support. So I will come down here to this gray link and click on Get Blender 2.83 LTS. So from here, you can download it. So if you're using Windows, you can download from Windows Store or Steam if you're a Mac user. I'm using Blender mostly on my PC. I've used it on Mac before, and I think the only, I don't know if that's only, but the major difference is the shortkeys. So everything that's control for a PC, it's command for a Mac. So just keeping that in mind. Okay, after you download Blender and install it, this is the first page you will see, I mean, not page, but this is the user face you will see when you open Blender. The biggest thing here is the 3D viewport, and we can see Blender already created this cube for us. And on the top right, this is the outliner, and we have three major things in here right now. We have camera, cube, and light. If I click on camera, you can see here in the 3D viewport, it has a orange-ish outline. That means it's selected. It works the same way if I click here, like I click on the cube, and the cube is highlighted in the outliner as well. So, another thing I want to mention is your outliner might be organized a little bit differently from mine. Don't worry too much about it for now. I will have another video just talking about how you should organize your assets in the outliner. So eventually when you bring it into Unreal, the two systems are compatible with each other. Okay, moving down here, this is the property panel. There are lots of things here, honestly, and I haven't really used all of them. But there are a few important ones you probably want to keep in mind. So things like output property. So if you made something really amazing and you want to render it and then save it, and you can show it in your portfolio website, this is the setting you can play with. But what else? Object, yeah. So for example, when you're making some changes to this cube specifically, it's one way to do it just in a 3D viewport, but you can also change it in the property panel. And there's also modifier. What else is important? Material, it's one that's pretty important, but just like other things, I'm not really gonna go deep into it today, but we will make videos in later of the series. Down here, this is the animation timeline. So if you've used Premiere and After Effects, you're probably already really familiar with this timeline thingy. So basically, this is where you can add keyframes and make your own animations. Okay, so moving up, we already covered the 3D viewport. At the very top, we have the top bar, and then right next to it, you see this little tabs. I believe they're called workspace. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they're called workspace. Essentially, they're just layouts that Blender designed for you, and the developer thinks that might be useful when you're working on specific things. So for example, animation. You will see, it's not that different from layout. which was something we were using before. But if you want to have like more control over animation specifically, this is where we can work on it. You can even make your own workspace by clicking on this. Yes, it is called workspace. Okay, good. So you can make your own workspace by clicking on this plus sign. But for today's purpose, we will just use layout. Okay. So that's a really brief introduction of the user interface. Now we're gonna go into the 3D viewport and see what we can do with this little cube here. So the first thing you want to do is click on it. Actually, before moving on, I want to talk about this little thingy down here. You probably don't have that on your Blender because this is a add-on that I downloaded and installed to Blender. I downloaded this because I want to show you like what kind of keys I use and what kind of button I press. I will try my best to remember all of them when I'm teaching this tutorial, but in case I forget, you can always just come back here and see. So for example, when I select this cube, I click on it, it will tell you there was a left click on that. And if I wanna, like zoom in this cube a little bit, it says mouse wheel up. So I just, scroll up my mouse wheel to zoom in, and I can scroll down to zoom out. And to rotate, not really rotate this like cube, but to like orbit around it, like you want to check other sides of this cube, is to press down the mouse wheel, and then you just kind of drag it to see like other aspects of this cube. And to pan, it's shift and then mouse wheel, and then you just pan it. Okay. All right. Now with this cube, there are several things we can do. The very basic ones are move, rotate, and scale. And the way we do it is we come to this vertical toolbars on the left. And this is the move tool. If you click on it, you will see this little gizmo, and you can drag it, and you can see it's moving along the axes. So the red one is the axis, and the green one is Y, and Z, and blue is Z. Why I remember it is because we have this little reminder here. So if you forget which direction you are looking at this cube, this little thingy in the upper corner, it's a very handy reminder. Okay, so that's move. And then we can also do rotate, which is pretty similar to move. You can just move in any direction. And if you don't want to move along specific direction, you can, click anywhere that's not the axis and just do this like free rotation. Same with move. I think I forgot to mention it. There you go. And then scale. That's a proportional scale. That's a scale along the Z axis. And this transform tool is just a combination of move, rotate, and scale. Okay. All right. Let's see what's on my list next. Okay, so that's how you can move, rotate, and scale a cube. But honestly, a better way to do this is actually by remembering all the shortkeys. The reason why we do that is because that will really speed up your process. So the shortcut for move is G, and you can move it anywhere. But if you only want to move along specific axes, let's say the y-axis, you just press Y, and then see, it's only moving along the y-axis. And For rotate, it's R, and that's how you rotate it. And scale, same, it's S, and it's scale. Let's scale along the X this time, so that we can make a really long tube. Okay, there you go. Once again, all the short keys are documented down here. So if I forget to mention specific things and you're confused about what I just did, yeah, please make sure you check here first. Okay, so I guess this is the first video, and next one we're gonna talk about different perspectives and how to get into edit modes.